Howdy folks, welcome back to another exciting video. Today we are working on quite the beauty, probably one of the nicest vehicles I've ever worked on this channel. Behind these double doors right here in this barn that's been sitting, this building has been here for decades. There's a truck, a beautiful one owner Ford truck that you're gonna absolutely love. We're gonna get it out of here. We're gonna see if we can make it run, drive, and stop, so that way we can take it all the way to Holley Ford Fest this weekend. We've got just a few days to make that happen. So come inside, let's see if we can achieve just that. Follow me. So right now we're in what they call the farm center. This is where they used to sell basically goods for people who were farming. This operation's been in business for, gosh, years and years. I don't think this place has been open since like either late 90s, early 2000s, and it's been a while. So as we come through here, this is where they store some of their stuff. And as you know, this is a good place for farming because, one, we've got a tractor all the way at the end of the aisle here next to our beauty that we're going to be working on. This is going to be good. I can't wait. So, Briar, you're a Ford guy. Or what are you?
I'm something.
You're something. Well, you've got your great-grandfather's 77 Ford short bed, two-wheel drive. And it's a good truck. So this is really up Briar's alley. So I'm going to be leaning on him to help me out because he knows a little bit more about this stuff than I do. But there's that beautiful truck. Let me cast a little light on the situation. This is a 1977 Ford F150, and she's a four-wheel drive. Now, this was bought brand new by my wife's grandparents. They all farm, and this truck was used on the farm. That's exactly what it was intended to do.
Well, I actually seen it in a magazine, and we actually ordered the truck, and I ordered that color. I ordered a four-wheel drive, two-tone, and it worked out good. But she drove it more than me on the start. But she hauled my corn, my beans, my wheat.
I claim it as my truck to everybody. I drove it with 3 kids on my back.
Yeah.
Well, the first instance that I remember of the truck is I remember when Dad pulled it in the driveway where we lived. The first time he pulled in the driveway, I remember us swarming the truck and looking it over. Of course, we had never had a new vehicle, so the new four-wheel drive was a big deal.
And I don't remember it whenever they brought it home. Obviously, Daddy bought it right when I was a baby, and. But my first memory that I can think of was when, of course, they used it in the field, pulling grain trailers, and of course, Mama was driving the truck hauling grain for Dad. He was driving the combine, and we would ride with her. So we got to hang out in the truck. Of course, they had a CB in it, and we got to play around with that, talk to Dad when he was in the combine, and talk to our cousins that were in other vehicles. But that's first I remember the truck is riding with Mama hauling grain.
I remember my dad picking me up from church camp up here at the church, and I jumped into the truck so excited to come home, put my left hand up, slammed the door, and my thumb was stuck in the door. So it hurt really bad. Lost that nail a few weeks later.
This thing has been preserved so well and so nicely that it's still here. Now, unfortunately, it's been sitting for quite some time, but that's where I come in, because, when I get married into the family, that means that I get to mess with the truck. So that's the fun part. But it's a beautiful orange and white. Now, they're huge Tennessee Volunteer football fans. So if that kind of gives you any inspiration or understanding of why they chose this color, that's kind of why. And even in the back, there's a 98 national champion sticker that was, as you can tell, probably put on in the 98.
No, I just always thought it was a Tennessee truck, just because it was orange and white.
Well, we closed the farm center in 2001. But
I mean, it's close to 20 years.
it's got to be.
I mean, it's been out some, but
Just periodically for a few days at a time.
no doubt I was driving it in 98. We were driving it in 98 because we got the Tennessee National Champion sticker in the back glass for the 98 season. So it was still being used a little then.
So it's been sitting for a while, so I haven't been used in a while, but it's a good truck that we want to see the family be able to have some fun with. So under the hood, as you can see, there was a cord up under there. They keep a trickle charger on it, which this truck hasn't ran in forever. So I don't know if the battery charger does anything. So I've heard this truck run, but driving wise, it hasn't done it in forever. So they would come out here and just crank it up every now and then. Because if you look at the tag, it actually has a current up-to-date, well, as of a year ago. They keep insurance on it at least, so that way, if anything happens to it, it's covered. But again, it just hasn't driven. I mean, the tires on it, I'm surprised they still hold air, but they are older than me probably, if I had to guess. So I'm going to hope that this battery works. I don't know what year it's from, but the fact that they have been keeping a charger on it, it's either a good or a bad thing, because I can hear it going right now, and that means that probably the battery is beyond dead. We brought an extra one just in case, but we'll try it and just see what happens. But we're going to check for, the same things, the fluids, I know it's not locked up, but we just want to make sure it's got spark. It hasn't ran probably at least 4 years now is the last time I heard it run. So from that point on, it's been sitting here. And plus, like I said, it hasn't been driven in forever. So I don't even know the last time it was on the road. So that's where we come in. We're going to fix all that today. I know for a fact that gas tank's got to be shot, because I could smell it the last time it ran. And this thing it needs a lot of work fuel system wise before it can be driven that far. I mean, Bowling Green, it's about a 3-hour drive from us. So we've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. So what do you think, Briar? You ready to do this? You think we're going to be all right? Is it too much of a deal? Are we crazy?
I don't think we can do it.
Yeah, well, that's why we have you here, for optimism. So let's just start off with the basics: fuel, spark, and air. Okay, got to get my truck pulled in here so we can start doing some work. It's very rare that we actually get to come inside, work in the shade, and just have a nice, relaxing time inside of a building that's, probably older than both of us combined 3 times over. But hey, this is a cool opportunity, so I'm happy to be here. And at least I'm not outside in the sun, right? I think that's a good thing. I need to work on my tan.
I got a Ford 4-wheel drive. Donnie got a Ford 4-wheel drive, but he got a straight shift. And David got a Chevrolet 4-wheel drive. And we actually hooked them together up there after a year or two. And me and David found out that ever who was downhill just a little bit of grade, like that there, it was ever who was downhill won the pull. And Donnie never won because he had to come out on the clutch. And every time he come out on the clutch, we beat him. David or me.
I changed the oil in it because I was very concerned about it. So I wish I'd filmed that 4 years ago, but I just was wanting to get this thing to where it was a little bit better. And I disconnected the fuel line because it killed a fuel pump. It killed a mechanical fuel pump. So it was running. It was totally fine. And they're like, hey, go ahead and just put some gas in it. When I pulled the gas cap off, I'm like, it was pretty nasty. Let's just take a whiff of it and see if it's still that bad. Hello? Ew. Get a whiff of that, Briar. That's toxic. Delicious. So, yeah, that was the major problem. And so what happened was I put a fuel pump on it because the fuel pump was bad. And they said, go ahead and hook it back up and You know, so we've been running it on the fuel tank that was in it. I'm like, well, I mean, I will, but I don't think it's going to be good. And within like 5 minutes of it running, it killed another fuel pump. So it's got a new mechanical fuel pump that is no longer good. We brought another one with us because we knew that it was going to be a problem, but we'll probably just hook up my electric pump and get it home. We're going to try and just see if it drives first. That's the main thing. As long as it drives, we'll be all right. But, you know, it's been sitting here for so long that the tires are definitely going to be like basically driving on a brick. Kind of sucks having to work on a four-wheel drive. Can't reach anything. This has I believe it's a 351 with a 2-barrel in it. It was really hurting because of how bad the fuel system was, and just I bet that carburetor is beyond shot. So I've got a rebuild kit, I've got a fuel pump for it, I've got everything that it should need to be a functioning vehicle once more. So let's take that off. Set it somewhere safely. Yeah, look here, I disconnected this because I didn't trust the fuel that was in it. Where's the dipstick on this thing, Briar? Right over here? There it is. Oh, too slow. Too slow.
I'll hold the camera.
Let's see if oh wow. Did I change the oil in this thing? Because it smells terrible. I honestly might not have changed the oil in it, to be honest. I thought I did. Because I know I got it to run, and I wanted to change the oil, and I thought, let me check the filter. Where's it at? Where's the filter on these things?
On the right side.
This side? Is it towards the back?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going in. Did you lie to me? Where the heck is the filter? What? It's over here, Briar. What are you talking about? Right side.
It was my right.
Wait. Oh yeah, I was backwards. I don't know my left from my right. That looks like a filter I put on it. That's an FL1A, and I put those on it. I think I did. It just smells terrible already. Okay, let me fidget out of here. Ow. Okay. So, I did change the oil in it. It's just already gummed itself up from sitting that long. This has like hardly any runtime on it. Does that not smell like terrible oil?
It smells like burnt.
Burnt, crusty, old gas oil. So I don't know what the heck's happened there. We'll just change it when we get back, I reckon. That's the only thing I know to do. Transmission fluid, we'll check it I'm sure it'll run again, but we'll check it once we get to that point. You want to see if that battery will do anything?
We can try it.
Hold on, see if the lights work.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! Well, that's shocking. That's good. Let me just see if it'll crank. Oh. Nothing. Yeah. The brake light comes on. That's weird. Is the proportioning valve tripped? Uh-oh. That's not good. I was hoping it was just that's not the oil light, that's the brake light. It only comes on when you crank it. Might have to loosen the battery cable and wiggle it around, but I'm turning the key and nothing's happening. Do we have any brake lights maybe? Oh, the pedal is stuck.
This one works. The passenger side does.
How about like turn signals maybe?
Nothing on the back.
Nothing at all? Oh, I hear it flashing.
Yeah, this side right here's flashing. Yeah, they both work up front.
Nothing in the rear though? Charger wasn't doing anything because the terminal was just loose. So I'm gonna just loosen it up oh, it's not even doing anything at all. Let me see if I can just wiggle it. That might help some. Oh, sneeze. Okay. Wow, wait. Ooh. I'm allergic to barn dust. Come on, get out of there. This is severe. Hold on, let me get a hammer. Couldn't find a hammer, but this is hammer shaped. There we go. Woo! Ta-da! And removed. So they had permanently mounted a battery charger just because this thing sits so much. And like I said, they'd come crank it, but it's only can do so much. Now this is a charged battery. I pulled this out of a running vehicle. So let's see if it'll crank now. No. Nope. Yep. So either the ignition switch or the solenoid is not good. But it cranks. That's good. We'll get, here, before this fire starts, let me get that rat's nest out from under the intake. You know, right where it's nice and toasty. That's probably why they did it. But yeah, when they start it up, it's warm. We know it cranks. We know that's a good sign, which I figured it would. So now we just need to figure out fueling and sparking. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Did you bring the juice?
No. I only have the juice right here. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's not good. That is not good at all. Let's see. Ew. It's a little crusty. We'll try it. I mean, like I said, they were running at some point, but I guess you could say that about everything, right? Okay. Ground it out somewhere. How's the alternator sound? I like that. Whoop. Yeah. We're getting sparks. That's good. We've got the tried and true electric pump. I'm gonna run it out to this jug. Oh, well, I guess we're gonna bring the jug to the truck. That's nice and safe. Maybe I don't need to do that. Let's go over here to this side. A little bit safer. Because I got a small jug we'll actually tie to the truck. We just want to see if it'll run for a second. We'll take this and we'll go right into here. And that shroud will protect us for the fan. And watch the carburetor. We're going to see if the needle and seat will function. Oh, it's filling up. It's holding. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. Well, we got spark and we have enough fuel to try something. Let me just turn the key on and see if it does anything. Key to the run position. So the two-stage process, you see. You've got the internal key and then you've got the external key. Oh, a couple pats, don't forget that. Yeah, we got some accelerator pump. That's good. And Geronimo. What was that? Wow. Well, hot diggity dog, she runs again. Nice. Okay. That was easy, Briar. It was almost too easy. Give me one right there.
Not yet.
You did great work. We have done, that was like, yeah. Which, like I said, I've heard this thing run before, but it's been quite some time. But man, I'm glad to see that it runs again. Okay, sweet. So now that that is the case, let's rig up a more permanent fuel solution because this is kind of scary to me.
It took time, but
I don't know.
you broke the seat.
Yeah, I broke the seat in it, and
It jolting. We did put a shock absorbing, not a bumper, but just a hitch.
Yeah.
And it took care of some of the jolting, but it didn't stop it.
But you drove it like it was intended to, right?
Oh, yeah.
But you could have his foot on the floor coming up these hills right over here. I mean on the floor, pulling 400 bushel, and he was doing 10 mile an hour. And they was pulling all his weight.
It done it. I remember the truck, the engine being rebuilt in that truck. I remember it once in my like while they were using it a lot. But that truck was, I mean, it was a stout truck in its day. The 351M. I'm not a mechanic, so the 351M standard for modified, I reckon. And it was a good motor. There's no doubt it was a good motor.
Well, the transfer case wore out. It had 85,000 on it, and the engine. Well, a boy wanted to rebuild it for me, and I don't know. It was a little over 100,000. But like I said, it pulled gobs of trailers, pulled a bunch.
Yeah. And I pulled them.
We've got a better fuel jug, and we rerouted this fuel line away from everything. And now I want to see what happens this time. Wow, my eyeballs. Okay. A little more fuel. Oh, the choke is open too. Let's try to... Gosh, it smells terrible. It smells like a rat's nest in here. Let me try and close the choke a little bit and see if that helps. Woo! The coil's hot for the choke. Smells like dead rat. Yeah, I left the key on in the... I left the key on and the coil heated up so much that the choke is open. Oh! Not too shabby, is it? We got a rocker arm or something making a little noise. See if I can get the fast idle off. Good as new. Look how smooth that thing is. Wow. That's impressive, Briar. That's really impressive. You know why? It's because it's a Ford. That's what it is. He's low on coolant. I can still see some in there, but it is definitely low. So we won't let it run for very long. But go listen to the exhaust. That thing sounds mean. Can we see if it takes gear? Because that would help. Oh, the brake pedal's starting to do things. That's good. Here's reverse. Oh, U-joint. There's neutral. Drive. That's taking gear. It's probably low, so we'll just, double check everything before we go too crazy. All right, I'm gonna kill it now. Is that a vacuum leak? Sounded. Huh? No kidding. What was that, you think? You know what? That's a tomorrow Dylan's problem. We're not gonna worry about that today. Let's get it out of here. Let's just take a look at it. That's the big thing. If we can let's check the coolant level. We might have to go run and get some transmission fluid because it's pretty low, or it could be low. I think you check it in park, but I'm not sure. I think on the Fords it's parked like a GM. I can't remember. Add if between arrows. Check when hot idling in park. Okay, it's above the arrows, so that's good. It's It's not burnt, but again, we'll move it, back and forth a little bit. Just check the fluid in it because we don't want to burn the transmission up in this thing. In you go. Hello, please. Why is it on the lifted vehicles like dipsticks fight you and you can't reach it? There we go. Like clockwork. We're gonna pull it out of here now. First time in a very long time. Okay. Reverse, neutral, drive. Oh. Oh. I think the brakes are sticking a little bit. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Brakes are a little sticky. Go to the light. To the light. Sweet. Ooh, she likes the sunlight. Now this is a good looking truck. Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while. We've sort of left it in the, of course, didn't want to leave it outside, for a long time. I don't know how much we really used it in the 2000s, because of course
as we got married,
and
got older, got married, the hunting slows down. You're working.
you got your
here,
own vehicle already there.
and that was Dad's truck, or as Mom says, it's Mom's truck. So you get your own vehicle. You don't drive it as much, and it was setting a lot.
Probably for the last 20 years. It's been in probably so. For the last 20 years or so, most of its time has been sitting in a warehouse. Jason would get out and get it. He was pretty faithful about keeping it. He'd go get it and start it up and drive it.
I'd like to drive it. My boys always wanted to drive it to school, and I let them a time or two, but I was always a little leery that something might happen, afraid something might break down on them. And me not being a mechanic, I didn't want to have to call somebody or beg somebody or them be stranded either while we were working. So a lot of the time it got left in the shed.
All right, we're gonna go to where Briar sometimes works. He makes cabinets for fun sometimes. We're gonna go air up the tires to get some coolant real quick so we don't blow anything up. Briar, would you like to lead the way?
Sure.
All right, I'll see you there. He's just now at a quarter up on the gauge for temp, so it's not bad. She's a little low on power steering fluid too. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, these tires are flat spotted. This is excellent. Yeah, we're just motoring. Hey, the speedometer's working. We've got second gear, but the tires are definitely going to have to be replaced. We're motoring along. Dude, this thing's nice. This is such a good truck. Brakes are okay. It's pulling a little hard to the right. I think we're going to have to just check over everything. We're going to check out, see if we can put some coolant in her. Yeah, the temp's okay. We're still fine. She didn't get hot. It's showing 3/4 of the gauge on fuel and very high oil pressure. Interesting.
Okay.
Oh, but you were filming? You didn't see that, did you?
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. Anyway, we're at Briar's happy place, I guess you could call it. This is where cabinets come to be born. And he loaned me some water because this thing it's fairly low. It's still got some like greenness to it, but it was low enough to be like, hey, we don't need to run it too long. I don't even know if the thermostat opened on it, to be honest with you. It very well couldn't have, but we've at least got some water to get us home. You know, put out a fire. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Golly, this thing's thirsty. Still going. There we go. Which, yeah, again, thermostat may or may not be open, but I think it was up warm enough to where it was close to it at least. So at least we got a gallon's almost worth of water in there. So that'll get us where we need to go. So now we just got to air some tires up and we can drive her home. Give her a little bit of air. Little air go a long way. I get really worried about dry rotted tires. You can see. Come over here a little closer, Briar. Check this out. Look at the sidewall just splitting. I mean, this thing is ready to come apart. So I don't like to drive on dry rotted tires, and especially low air dry rotted tires, because they start to flex, they get really hot, and next thing you know, it gets ugly. Things get really, really ugly. They don't like to flex, and heat's just terrible. Hey, a gauge just appeared. Sweet. I was really gonna do it by eye, but you guys are better off than I am. I was just like, yeah, it looks full. How's that look? 20. Guess we're gonna be here for a while. Dude, we could polish these wheels. Oh man, this thing's gonna shine when it's all said and done. I can't wait. Like the paint's gonna just pop. We could polish the trim. Well, maybe we should get it to run first better, you think? Maybe start with the basics, like running and driving. These are 33 by 1250 15s. So I'm sure we can find us a good set somewhere. All right, that's about 32. That'll get us home. This one's a really flat one. Sport King all-terrain steel radial. So I have no idea what, it's made in the USA though. It's got a flag on it, so that's good. No idea what brand these are. Never heard of them. It's taking air though, that's all that matters.
Yeah, in the late 90s or early 2000s, we took it to a man and got it had some body work, some Bondo and stuff done, and had it repainted. Bought some rims and tires and put them on, and I'll never forget, I had the truck and I brought it to Avery to show it to Jason, Jim Bob, and I had just picked it up. I won't name the tire store. I don't want to throw them under the bus. But I picked it up and I took it over to show them, and I left Avery Express coming back toward home. And as I got there to where the old jail used to be, right there at Walgreens now, I was slowing down to make the right, and all of a sudden the left front tire fell off and was going into the four-way there. I had to jump out and run, catch the tire before it hit somebody's car, and then had to get that tire store to come help me get it back on, and then they had to fix the left front, I guess that'd be fender well. It was bowed out where the tire come off and bent it, but they absolutely fixed it and done a great job. I don't even know if you could tell it today.
Daddy always run back when I was a teenager. Daddy always had it was buckshots. I think they were called buckshot. Oh, mud grips always.
Grip spurs.
Grip spurs. Yeah, grip spur. That was it.
Oh yeah, right on the money, 32. That will get us where we're going. Sweet. All right. Well, Briar, the moment of truth has come. We now have to drive it home. For that short little drive, how are we feeling at this point?
So scared.
You're the optimist, man. You're supposed to be positive. What happened? Running kind of rough, but we're moving. So my goal is to get this truck pretty much usable by, my wife's family. I want to be able to see the truck, go to some shows, be driven around, and just be enjoyed again, because, they want to. It's just been sitting for so long that it needs a lot of work, and they're busy because they farm and it never ends, and just so happens that I work on cars all the time. So it was a win-win for all of us. So we're gonna take it back to the shop and get her prepped. We're doing about
maybe 52 miles per hour if the speedometer's accurate. But it's honestly a great truck. I really do love this truck, and I really can't wait to see how this thing looks when it's all cleaned up. We're almost there. It ain't but like a 15-minute drive to get there. I'm living the dream. This is such a fun truck. She sounds good. Can't run her too hard though. That carburetor's not happy. I'm having to double foot it, put the gas and the brake at the same time. I'm having to downshift up to a stop. Listen to it. She starts sputtering real hard. Down to first. Like it's, oh, don't die. Like it's having a hard time. There we go. Well, we're gonna fix all that, don't you worry. Well, we made it home. She's really mad. This thing is not wanting to stay running right, but it's here. We made it back to the shop, and now is the time that we're gonna have a lot of fun in making this thing run and drive properly. Oh, come on now, come on. Oh, well. Well, at least it died right here. Could be worse. We got a major vacuum leak. Somewhere. Running terrible. Big beefy tires hang off the edge of the ramps here. I need to come up some more. Anyway, yeah, she's running really, really rough. We got a lot of work ahead of us. But I think we can fix all that. The fact that it runs and drives is a good thing. It just needs some help, of course. So we'll start with the fuel system. That is going to be first and foremost. Carb rebuild, fuel tank, clean out the lines, new fuel pump, and do away with anything related to any of that trash we were dealing with before. Every time we start this thing, the reason it didn't want to crank is because it float sticks. I'm having to like smack it with a hammer just to get it to where the float comes unstuck. So it's pretty bad. So at least we know what the problem is. So what do you think, Dixie? What do you think? Do you like trucks? Do you like trucks? Do you like trucks? What'd you say? Do you like trucks? Do you like trucks?
I can't tell you the first time I remember driving it by myself, but there's no question I learned how to drive in that truck. Driving in Daddy's lap, just like you see people do now. They put their kids in their lap, but definitely learned how to drive that truck, and it definitely was the first vehicle I ever drove by myself.
But I remember vividly, I wouldn't say it was the first time I drove it, and we were driving, coming down, and he was in the passenger seat, and the steering column wasn't just real tight even then. I don't guess the truck was probably 15 years old at the time, but I remember running off the edge of the road a little bit and Daddy getting a little panicked, which made me a little panicked. But
those Fords sort of drove themselves. You just guided them. You just guided it in between the lines. So. Well, I mean, I know me personally, when I was, even before I got a license, Dad, it's hard to believe now, me having kids, my dad let me drive the truck as a 14, 15-year-old everywhere. I don't know, Dad seemed to just trust me, I guess, probably more than he should have. But I drove that truck to school sometimes. I drove it, never worried about a ticket or getting pulled over. I drove the truck everywhere, deer hunting all the time. And of course, then I got my license eventually, but I drove that truck plenty of miles before I turned 16.
Now we're up under the truck. It's up on the wildfire lift, and as you can see, it's an old truck. It's really not that bad. The brake lines look pretty good. The rubber hose for the brakes, they're still fairly soft. Back here, same story. Everything looks fine. I don't see any leaks or anything, no fluid coming out of the wheel cylinders. There's the tiniest bit of rust. This is the worst part. That right there in the cab is a little crunchy, unfortunately, and then right here. So far, that's the only rust I've found in the truck, which is really good. That's easily fixed. I mean, you could patch that very easy. Like nothing up in where your feet sit that I can tell. Everything looks good. The cab mounts, a little crunchy, but that's to be expected on a truck this old. But the steering's tight and the brakes are tight. It's actually a really good running and driving truck. Here's where the problem lies. This is our main problem. If you look at this tire, you notice some stuff that's, dripping out of it. That is old gas. Let me show you what it does when you touch it. That's nasty. That's the problem. This is what gas turns to, basically. Look at that. That's the original spare, I guess, too. But the sending unit, I think, was leaking at some point. That's what I'm going to guess. And that is what the tank is full of. And whenever all this went down, when I first got it to run a few years ago, I added this filter because I did not really want it to be driven the way it was, and it was only ran for a little bit, but I still think I need to even replace this filter. It was running for a little bit on the old tank. I'm probably going to go ahead and throw a new filter on it while we're at it. Overall, really, really solid underneath. Really sweet truck. And since the fuel tank is so bad, that's going to be the first order of business, is to get that out of there. You can see it's pretty rusty. It's not going to be a good savable unit. We've got a brand new one for it. That's the main thing. So to do that, we first got to drop this beautiful, dude, it's still holding air. What? Ow. That is just super hard. And I think it's holding air. I don't know if this thing has ever been off the truck, honestly, by the looks of it. Town and Country, can you see that? That's pretty cool. I guess that's what it would have come with originally. What size tires are these? I'm not seeing anything, but they're somewhere. They're old Firestones. Isn't that sweet? So we're gonna have to drop the spare, get that out of the way, and then get it to where we can use it. What about the old glass packs though? Ain't that something else? This thing sounds really good, especially when that thing will run. But that's why carburetor's gummed up. Everything is gummed up. Stuff is being ruined as we speak. So the more we run it, the worse it's gonna get. Oh, let's get the spare tire out of the way. Oh. Oh. I think that's the original spare, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man. I think it's a good, oh, wow. You gotta see this. Look at what old gas does to this tire. That is insane. This was, again, the original spare. It's still holding air, but the outer layer of rubber has disintegrated and just turned to mush, all because of that old gas. Like,
all that just started pouring out of it. And this was really the only bad spot on the tire. It's ruined now. I mean, you can see the metal wire inside. It's still holding there, like I said, but that right there goes to show you what old gas can do to just about anything, especially rubber parts. Wow, it smells terrible. So right before it got parked last, we put 5 gallons of fresh gas in it. And as you can see, it's still kind of clean, but it's nasty inside this thing. Like the tank, you know, there's so much trash in there that it's not gonna run on this thing. So we'll let that drain. Got another bucket over here in case this one fills up. It was showing 3/4 on the gauge, which kind of worries me because that's a lot of gas. But if that's the case, that's the case. We'll just let it sit here and drain and I'll report back. Getting kind of close to full. So we can do a seamless transition to an empty bucket. Look at there. You know what? I might be a professional. Probably not. And just like that, the tank is almost empty. So I'm gonna let that just trickle down. While I waited, I went ahead and broke loose all of the mounting brackets here on each corner. It's just a bolt and a nut on each end, so it's not really that hard to drop the tank. So once that is really done leaking, we'll cut the fuel line. I've already got the center wire out, I think. I hope it is. And we'll take the tank out. Oh, there we go. Old tank, meet new tank. As you can see, this one, it's not rusted out, but it is disgusting on the inside. So since all this is out, we'll replace it with everything brand new. We've got a new sending unit, lock ring, gasket, everything in there. And I actually got all this from O'Reilly, which is awesome that they had this stuff in stock. So we put this back in the truck. I can't wait to see how much better we can have this thing running with some proper fueling. There we go. Tank is in. I went ahead and painted the straps just so they look a little bit better. And now I'm about to put the spare tire back in, so that's going to be a hassle in itself. I kind of hate to do it just because it's, well, ugly and it's really dirty, but hey, that's just what we got to do. I want to put it back together pretty much exactly how I took it apart, just fix what I need to. So we got a new sending unit, new tank, everything's plugged back in. Now that we have everything out back done, before we drop the truck down, I wanted to go ahead and change the oil. It's almost done draining, and we'll swap out the filter wherever it may be, somewhere around towards the engine side. Last thing on our list is the fuel pump. Now this was the one that I put in 2019, 2020. It lasted for maybe 30 minutes until the fuel in the tank killed it all. This was a brand new one at one point, but it is no longer any good. So what I have is this one. This is basically the exact same thing, direct replacement, and this will work just fine for what we need it to. Now that we have a new fuel tank, new fuel filter, all the clean lines and all that good stuff, we shouldn't kill another one because this is the third pump that's been on this truck, the second one that I've put on. So bad gas is really bad. Well, up under the hood, I've got the carburetor loose. I think this thing's been off before because every bolt was loose on it. So it was really just finger tight, but I've got everything out of the way. So let's see. Will you remove yourself? Look at all that nastiness down in the bottom. Yeah. So that's not helping anything. So let's get the float out of here. Now you can see why it ain't running right. That's gross. Man, I wish we had time to soak this carburetor if we could, but Ford Fest is in like 2 days, so we'll just have to clean it out as best we can. We'll pull out the jets, which it looks like really the worst part of it is right here. We can take everything else apart and just kind of spray it out, but that will help a ton getting all that trash out of there. I cleaned it as best as I could. I mean, there's just a little bit in the corners that I couldn't really get to, but it's much better. Cleaned out the jets, new needle and seat. That was really the big issue because the needle and seat couldn't close properly before. I was having to smack it with a hammer just to keep it to run. I'm gonna get the top plate put back together, and then we'll change the accelerator pump diaphragm over here, flip it over up on its top, and then do the power valve at the same time. That should wrap it up. I do have to get one of these. This is the old filter here, and I would bet money this thing's shot. The kit didn't come with one, and I forgot about that, so we're gonna pick one of those up once this is done. But other than that, it's just as simple as throwing new gaskets on, making sure everything's clean and tight, and we're good to go. Folks, that ought to do it for this little carburetor right here. And that should take care of everything. I had to replace this vacuum hose back here because it had a crack in it. And I'm gonna check all the vacuum hoses around everywhere else just to make sure they're okay as well. But now we can put the carburetor back in the truck, start it up, and see if it runs any better. We've got the oil changed, we've got the carburetor on, we've got all new spark plugs, and I only broke 3 out of the 8, so that's not too bad. Every single one of them was just as tight as that first one was, and they all look like this. Not terrible, not great, but at least they're changed now. So now we gotta put some gas in the tank. It is now the time to do it. I am nervous, but I hope it fills up and it works. As long as it holds gas, we'll be all right. I've got just a couple of gallons, just in case this thing decides to dump gas all on the ground. We don't want to get too crazy and lose all of it. We'll just give what we have left in here. Uh-oh. I see gas. Where's it coming from? Oh, I didn't tighten up the filter neck for the, let's see, did I forget them? Oh, yeah, I left the hose clamp loose. That will do it, ladies and gentlemen. So let me tighten that up real quick and then we'll finish filling it up. Key is on. Still haven't fixed the ignition switch problem, but we can at least try it. It's really more of a safety feature and kind of like a anti-theft feature if you think about it. Oh, whoops. Got a spark plug wire dangling here. I broke one. Little gas. I just dumped a little bit down the carburetor. I might have a plug wire crossed, but we're gonna find out. Woo, yep, I think we do. Well, maybe not. Try and fill up the bowl a little bit. I've got a little squirt bottle, but I've misplaced it, so it's only gonna be the second safest option and just dump a bunch of gas down the carburetor. Oh, that's too much. Cool. There she goes. Come on, pick it up. Oh yeah. Let it kind of circulate that oil a little bit. Run for just a minute. And we'll shut it down and double check everything, make sure it's still full. Seems like it's running a little better. Let me get the choke to come off. Whoop. Yeah. Might need to let it warm up before we get too crazy. Also the float, I don't know if it's good or not, but it seems like, you know what? It's gotta be running on, like, it's shaking pretty good. Let me see if I can swap those plug wires real quick, and that helps, because it sounds a little rough. We swapped number, I don't know, Ford's weird. Is it 1, 2, I don't know. The back side over here. I know the comments are gonna yell at me for not knowing. I don't know off the top of my head how the Ford firing order is, but it was these back two over here I think were crossed. Let's try it now.
Oh yeah, that's way better. Yeah, way, way better. She's happy now. Ooh, yeah, beefy. Ooh, sounding good.
No telling how many hunting trips we took in that truck. That's just the truck we went hunting in. And of course we had the dual exhaust put on it back in probably the 90s, I guess. We got the dual exhaust put on it, and of course we would sneak into some woods in that thing. Of course you wouldn't know sneak into it, but yeah, a lot of hunting trips. I remember my first deer that I killed. Got my picture in the back of that truck with my first deer, and a lot of first in that truck. I remember me and Jason, Daddy had the woods logged behind the house, and of course there was a lot of tops left, and you could take some I think it was 8 foot, maybe 8 foot.
40 something each, yeah.
Okay, maybe 4 foot
Or
then.
4 foot something.
That you could take, and you could sell them there out behind the scales out there. And so and Daddy told us we could get all we wanted as long as we didn't cut any more trees. And so me and Jason, being the lumberjacks that we are, we decided that, we liked that money. It was some pretty good money. Wasn't having to do this terrible work for it. So we decided we'd cut down one more tree and finish out a load. And I'll never forget, we got the saw hung in the tree because, of course, didn't have really a clue what we was doing. And so I told Jason to get in the truck and ease forward. We had it hooked to the tree where I could pull out the saw. And so we nearly demolished that truck. That was in the late 90s as well.
Yeah.
Or in the 90s. I don't know if it was late 90s or not. But Jason eased up on the tree. I told him that was good because I thought it was good. And I yanked the saw out. And I hollered at Jason and told him he needed to get out of the way. He opened the driver's door and dove out, and the tree landed between him and the door. So we were about 6 foot from not having
Dad.
the truck at all. I love you, Dad.
Sorry.
And you're welcome for obeying everything that you commanded us. So needless to say, that was our last tree that we cut. We didn't cut any more. We were done.
I never cut. I still don't like cutting trees.
Running fairly smooth, but as we kind of warm things up and get that choke working again, that's going to help a lot too. It's running fairly decent though. I'm happy with it. It's an old truck. It's an old truck. But it's running on its own fuel supply once again. I hadn't done that in a very long time, but I can say it finally is. Fuel tank is good, no leaks, no drops. I didn't see anything coming out the bottom. Man, does it sound good. Sounds like it's ready, man, I tell you. Yeah. It's smoothing out. It's getting better. A couple good revs blow the cobwebs out of her. Yeah. Sprayed a bunch of PB Blast on the spark plugs, man, and that's burning all that off. Those suckers were tight in there. So now, I'm gonna clean all this trash up. We're gonna back it out, clean it up, make it look a little bit better, and we have to take it to go get some tires. It's late, but I got something fixed. So what I did, I took the ignition switch out of the dash and I was chasing the wiring to figure out why in the world did it not want to crank. So I came up under here and I actually changed out the starter solenoid because that's a pretty common thing on these Fords to go bad. So I changed it out, didn't fix the situation. So what I had to do was actually cut the connector off the end here, tied in to a new wire, and I went ahead and just added in it's a wire, like a ground and a positive wire reel. So I just went ahead and left the second wire in just in case I ever needed it for anything, We could wire up a switch if we need to. So I ran it with the factory harness up into the dash through the firewall over here in the factory location and just did away with that original power wire. What I think happened is probably maybe a rat chewed it up
or there's just a dead short somewhere. I haven't put the key back in, but now when I stick the screwdriver into the switch, it runs. So now I'm going to put this back through the dash, put everything back together with the ignition switch back in it, and that will get us sorted out for tomorrow to get tires. Once the next morning, I wanted the truck to sit overnight to see if it leaked any fuel out. So far, so good. Nothing's come out of the tank. It's up to us to see if we can drive this thing out of the shop for the first time under its own fuel system. No trickery, no hacks, no two-stage ignition system, no electric fuel pumps. It's all based on what the truck can do. So let's hop in and turn it on with the key. All right, let's see how she does with a cold start. Ooh, started right up like a champ. Let that fast idle do its thing. All right. Reverse. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Time to go. We've got 4 brand new tires. Nexen Rodian ATX 33 by 12 50/15s. We're gonna drive across town and get them mounted, balanced, ready to go. These tires right here, they ain't gonna make it. See how rotten they are? I hope they'll hold up long enough to get us to where we're going. Surely they will, but who knows? But this will be the first test drive with this truck with the new fuel system, completely redone. Gosh, I hope we make it. So it's probably a 25-minute drive across town. I think it's gonna be all right. This truck is such a good truck. I've got high hopes. Okay, we're on the road again. It's running pretty good so far. We're not gonna go very far. First stop is the gas station. The next stop is tires. It's still running. Carburetor seems like it's holding up okay. I don't smell any gas, that's good. Put about 6 gallons in it total. So that should be enough to get it there, but at least get to the gas station. I don't want to go any further than that. This thing is kind of all over the road, to be honest with you. Just stopped for gas. Showing 3/4 of a tank, so the gauge is working. Now we just have the rest of the way to go, and that's the hard part. There's a good bit of stretch of road left in between here and there. So we're just gonna take it real nice and easy. Be gentle with her. Nothing too major, nothing too crazy. I figured out on my phone that when I'm seeing 45 miles per hour on the speedometer, I'm actually doing 50 miles an hour. So I think 50 on these tires is about fast enough for me. And we'll see how she does on the way home. Probably a third of the way there. Truck's running really good. I mean, it's pretty smooth, it's pretty quiet. Pulls a little to the left, but that could just be the fact that the tires are old and rotten. We're almost there. We're probably 5 more minutes away. Temp gauge, it's looking good. Oil pressure looking good. Everything else is doing all right. The brakes are a little stiff. Might take a look at them. They worked the last time I drove it, but I just didn't even think to check them. So we'll take a look at those when we get back. But everything else so far, I'm very happy with. I feel good about going to Bowling Green after these tires. Okay, we made it. First 20-25 minute drive has been completed. The truck has survived. Temp gauge is still temping. Oil pressure is still oil pressuring. Everything's looking good across the board. The temp gauge is a little high, which it might be a little low on coolant because it pushed some out. But other than that, I mean, I can deal with that. We had a little stop and go traffic. The radiator may or may not be not good. I don't know, but it's holding up at least. So, puked a little coolant out. Might need to get an overflow tank for it because I need to save all that I can. But tires are here. the truck didn't explode. It did get a little warm, like I said, maybe just a little over half, but I think that's just because, again, like I said, it's pushing some out. So, got the tires in the back. We're here. Good luck, little truck. I believe in you. Well, we're here after hours. Had to go do some other things for some other vehicles that you'll see in another video, but the truck is done. Tires look really good. I'll show you in better light when we get home. I bet you they're gonna ride great though compared to what we had. I told them I wanted to keep the tires. I'll put them on some rollers for something, but we're gonna drive her home. She's looking mighty fine. Well, so far so good. These tires ride so smooth. I mean, the other ones were flat spotted. These are nice. And I can do 60 miles an hour, no problem. Biggest problem right now is the steering wheel is a little loose, which, I mean, it's a big lifted up truck. What do you expect? And the windshield is very dusty. We still got to detail this thing and make it look nice. So we're gonna get her home, check her out in the light, and clean it up.
But the older it got, of course, we wanted to retire it, and because it was in great shape, and so we wanted to keep it that way, and we just basically used it going hunting. We used the fire out of it going deer hunting.
We used to hook up sleds or hoods to vehicles and pull it down the road when it would snow, or on Uncle Donnie's pine when it would freeze.
If we ever got a snow, that truck was extremely popular, pulling car hoods.
Pulling cars out of the ditches.
You could make any kind of money if you wanted to. You could put a chain in the back of that truck and drive around and pull people out of the ditch regularly. I mean, that truck, it was hard to get that truck stuck, to be honest with you. It was I don't know if it was just the light. I don't know if it's light. I don't know what it is about the wheelbase or whatever, but that truck, I hadn't seen that truck stuck many times in my life.
One time she washed it for me, and I thought I'd go on the back side of the farm instead of coming in on the front, and I got stuck. And
Right after it got cleaned?
Right after she washed it.
Truck is clean. We're leaving. Briar's going with me, and we're taking Dixie to my parents. She wouldn't ride in the truck, so Briar's having to sit in the bed with her. She's a little bit too big for inside here. We didn't have enough space for her, but we love her anyway. So just making sure she doesn't jump out. But look at this thing shining. I didn't do a good job cleaning it, but it still looks amazing after washing it. So Allie is driving my truck, pulling a trailer with the Mustang 2 on it, because we did some fun stuff with it. We're gonna stop and get gas. We'll take a look at the truck and see how clean it is then. And then we are on our way to Bowling Green. We're gonna hit our Airbnb tonight, and then we'll go to the venue in the morning. All right, we dropped off the dogs. She's shining real good. What do you think, Brian? We got about a 3.5 hour drive before we make it to Ford Fest. We're taking the back road so we don't die. But we got this truck ready. We got the Cobra ready. Briar's got snacks. We got drinks. I'm gonna grab it. Well, I would just get gas first. Anyway, gas stop. Hit the road. It's gonna be a good day. You know, for a really big four-wheel drive, it honestly rides pretty nice. I like this truck. I mean, it's been sitting for a long time.
but it's a good truck. Albeit we did have to do a lot of work to it. You know, we did put tires on it, fuel system completely renovated, and a good set of spark plugs. But man, I mean, we're cruising. This thing will do 65 miles an hour. That's about top speed that I feel good about. We're just riding the back way. We didn't want to go on the interstate because this thing, we would get destroyed on the interstate. We've probably got 2.5 hours to go. The gas tank is showing full. Whenever we stop for gas, the filter neck just stays at the very top. So I can only put 10 gallons in it. So I'm gonna guess that it's just gonna keep filling itself up maybe, and we'll go forever, and we'll make it all the way to Bowling Green. So that'll be good.
A lot of people didn't know, you know, that cup holders were made back then, but you can take a canned drink and set it on that dash, and it'll ride from here to Florida. That can will ride open, and it will not spill, and it will not move. Perfect cup holder on the dash of a Ford truck.
Well, we're still showing full on gas. The oil pressure gauge is shown pretty much H the whole time. I mean, even before I changed the oil, so I don't know. I put 1040 in it, so I guess that's good enough. The temp has not gotten up to halfway, so that's really good. Because the other day it was puking a little out, and it got a little bit over the middle. Kind of made me concerned, but it's nice and perfect temperatures for the drive right now. Like, what would you say, Briar? High 60s, low 70s right now?
Oh, this is nice.
Perfect weather. This is like the best drive you could possibly ask for. And Ford Fest is always great weather, great time. We're gonna have a lot of fun this weekend. We stopped to eat. Mustang is still being a Mustang. Little girl's being a little girl. Briar, what'd you get?
I got some chicken and some potato wedges.
Me and Allie are splitting some General So, and I got these little cheese bites. They weren't but $1. Allie, the tater wedge is good. Very good. We still got a long way to go, but at least we'll be full and really sleepy then. We came to the world's greatest place, O'Reilly Auto Parts. The truck was puking coolant out of the radiator cap. The gasket had separated out of the cap, so we're gonna put one on there. The temperature wasn't coming up, so I don't think it was like getting hot, but I don't want it to. I don't want to chance it. That and the choke finally shut off, like it quit, you know, raising the idle, because every time you shut it off, it would diesel. But now, it's idled super low, and the transfer slot's in the right place. We might bump up the timing later. I'm not going to do that right now because I just want to get there. So.
Paper towels inside.
And ain't got no pressure on it because the cap's doo-doo. That gasket right there, it had separate, yep. So that's not good. It's still, oh, she's a little frothy. I might add some water to it before we get too crazy. That's probably why it's puking out every single time, because the cap wasn't able to hold back any pressure. Because normally they don't puke out that much. Just to be safe. There, I feel better about that. Thanks, Briar's dad, for the jugs. We still have them. All right, that ought to keep some pressure, keep them from puking it out. $9 fix. There you go. Well, that fixed our overheat. We don't even overheat. that fixed our issue, whatever it was you want to call it. The temp is actually lower now, which is kind of good. Which, again, it was just a little under half anyway, but it was pushing out coolant pretty good. I bet the next time we stop, it doesn't do that. And other than that, it's pretty nice. The temperature has dropped outside, so it's going to help this truck tremendously. But we still have about 2 hours to go, and it's obviously getting dark. So we're going to spend the next 2 hours pretty much blind, I guess. Yeah, there's a ton of traffic through here. But we've stopped. How many times do you think we've stopped at a stoplight so far?
Not many.
Every time we stop, though, the temperature does not go up. Normally, on pieces of junk, which this one is not. So see, I think that's what my problem is. I'm used to just absolute garbage, and this one isn't garbage. So when things go right, I'm just kind of confused. It doesn't make sense to me when something's actually a nice vehicle. Pretty cool. Oh, Blue Coast Burrito. I haven't been there forever. That place is good. They had one in Cookville. I miss that. Then all these different sauces that you could like choose from, and I would just go out there and fill up the little containers and take them home with me. Oh, those are the days. Were you recording that?
Yes, it was.
I think I'm delusional because if you want to know what I've been up to the past 2 days, I guess, I woke up Sunday morning with no way to hold my head that couldn't hurt. Just kidding. I woke up, what day was it? What is today?
Today's Thursday.
Today's Thursday. Got up Wednesday morning about 6 o'clock, and today is Thursday, and it's currently 7:18 p.m. and I got an hour nap. So I don't know where I'm at right now. Mainly because if you look, what Allie is pulling on the trailer is because I wanted to get a lot of stuff done with the Cobra. I did a rear axle swap from Quick Performance, and of course had to install nitrous, because who wouldn't want nitrous on a Cobra too? So if you want to see that video, if I haven't posted it yet, make sure you subscribe so you can see that. And heck, it might blow up. We don't know yet. And if I have posted it, it's in the top right now. Stop for gas. I don't know where we are. Briar looked like he was laying on the ground for some reason. I don't know. This thing, it's, it spit gas out?
Yeah, I squirted it.
Oh gosh.
Down.
What happened? It only took 7 gallons?
The neck, it won't go anymore.
Are you serious?
It's not draining.
Dang. Let me see if I can wiggle up under there.
Oh. That's what I tried to do it.
Oh, it's kinked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a pretty serious kink in it. Ah! It's got a kink going up over the frame rail that's making it nearly impossible to fill this truck up. Oh, that's hot exhaust. Wow. Me and Briar have come to the conclusion that we've got to try and buff this hood a little bit. Maybe get a little rubbing compound and just see what it can do, because the paint, look at it. It'll shine, it's just kind of hazy. I think we can really clean that up. I mean, the truck is beautiful. It's absolutely stunning, especially in the gas station lights. It just makes it look a heck of a lot better. So Briar gave me a cherry lemon sun drop. If you guys know sun drop, then you know. you know. But just to keep me awake, a little caffeine to get her going. But we're about an hour and 20 minutes from where we're staying tonight, and then probably another 30 minutes into Bowling Green to go to the show. So we'll hit it in the morning and just hope we survive. Briar, you gonna need a cherry lemon sun drop?
No, I've already had one. I should be fine.
Already had one? Oh, starting early. Okay, I mean it's only 8 o'clock.
It won't take long.
Oh, well, that's true. That is very true. Well, we were at a stoplight just a second ago, and as I went to leave, the brake light came on. We still have brakes, but we tripped the proportioning valve, My guess is the pedal was stiff before, and I'm wondering if like the wheel cylinders were like not moving at all, and I finally made one move and it popped. So we still have brakes. Like I can slow down, but yeah, the pedal moves much easier now. So my guess is the rears probably blew a wheel cylinder. Not a big deal. I mean, we're still going to get there, and you know, we may check it out just see if we can see any fluid leaking anywhere. As long as we can stop, we can stop. So that's a good sign. I will fix it when I get home. Just put it that way. As long as we can continue on moving, I will worry about it then. Oh, we're about 20 minutes away from our Airbnb. We are in, I think, Morgantown, Kentucky. That sounds something like it should. So we're running through the square right now. Whoa! Oh, stop. Please stop. Foot to the floor. Not really. Yeah, the rear brakes aren't doing much, which they weren't before anyway. I think I just popped them because I finally pushed through the wheel cylinder. I think they were both stuck and one of them decided to give way. So it is what it is. We'll check that whenever we actually get to the Airbnb we're staying at. But yeah, just a nice little reminder. We may try to put some wheel cylinders on it, but again, they weren't doing anything anyway, so it's exactly the same as it was before. So we'll see in about, I don't know, 20 minutes.
Almost there.
You still awake?
I'm here.
Yeah. We made it. I'm so tired. It's currently 9:45. We got to get up pretty early in the morning. But I don't care. We made it. I am so proud of this dang truck. I can't even believe it.
We had flooding, terrible flooding, and we were going to go over to my Uncle David's house, and of course we were getting in the goose, we called it. I don't know where that came from. Chad
Nickname was the goose. Yeah,
the mongoose or something. But anyway, we got in it, and we were going over there, and Daddy, we were going down the road, and we were almost to Uncle David's house, and the water was across the road, and we were going through a spot, and I remember it, and the headlights were underwater, and
true story.
We went right on through, eased right on through, and went on to Uncle David's house. I don't know how intelligent that was, but that's what we did. I remember that, and the headlights were definitely underwater.
Wow.
So
do not try this at home.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
That's impressive.
Yeah, my girls, if you watch this, do not do that. Turn around. What's that sign? Turn around, don't drown, please.
It is a beautiful Kentucky morning. Nice and chilly, very calm and quiet. Today, we are rolling in to Holley Ford Fest. I will be driving the Ram with the Cobra 2. Briar will be driving the old 77 Ford, and we will make it into the event today. So we have to do a lot. This truck is fine. We might do wheel cylinders at some point, maybe not, who knows. But the Cobra, now it's got a lot of work. So Briar, you just have fun. It's the first time driving it, but you have what is it, yours? 77. So he's got a 77 two-wheel drive, and it drives pretty much just like this one, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. So he's used to it. Alrighty, I'll see you on the other side. We made it into the venue. Briar is, I hope he's behind me. I have no idea where he's at, but I hope he followed me. Well, we are inside. The truck performed flawlessly. I am so happy with how this thing did. Everything went great. I mean, people have just come in left and right just asking about it, saying how much they thought the truck was beautiful. And it really is. It's a great truck, and I'm so happy it's here. So this has been quite the adventure, quite the turn of events, quite the story, and I'm proud of the old girl. Holley Ford Fest, day one is over. We'll be back tomorrow just to do a little autocross racing, and not with the truck, of course. We're gonna do that with the Cobra. The truck is just here for show, you know, but it's gonna be a great day. We're gonna go get something to eat, go to bed, come back refreshed. Good morning, Ford Fest day 2. God, this truck is such a good looking vehicle. Got the Bigfoot in the background. I'm so proud of it. So if you want to see kind of more an in-depth event video, go watch the Cobra 2 video. That'll kind of give you some more details about what it's actually like. This truck right here, the main thing is just the fact that it made it here and we're showing up and really just showing out. So I'm so happy that we've made it this far, and I'm gonna be having fun doing some autocross today.
It was great. Everybody loved the truck. Everybody loved the truck. Lots of people asking about the truck. I thought that was really cool. I got some pictures made with it and with my grandbaby and my girls, so it was really exciting.
All right, it is day 3. It's time to go home. The old F-150. She was a hoot. People loved her at the show, and I'm very proud to say that she's going right back home with us. So Briar is driving back to our Airbnb where we were staying. We gotta go pick up the rest of the family, and then I'll hop in and drive back with him. So I'll see y'all on the road. Briar, what's your take? How you feeling about the old truck?
It'll make it.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
I think so too. I mean, honestly, as far as like driving, this truck is really, really smooth. So, you got the key? All right, see if she'll fire up. Yeah, beefy.
We decided to take the interstate home because this truck has been doing so well. That 65 is probably not as quick as I want to go, but hey, it's driving pretty good. The temp's a little bit higher just because we're doing the interstate speeds. It is pretty warm out here, but so far so good. I'm very proud of this truck. So it's probably what, an hour and 45 minutes till we get home. We're just gonna continue on until we can, basically. How you feel, Briar? You ready to go home? Me too. Well, our temp gauge is showing 3/4 right now. So we're gonna pull over and just check it and make sure that we're not, we might be low on coolant, honestly. I'm just worried that we might be pushing coolant out or something, but I'm gonna just make sure it's not getting too hot because I don't want to cook this thing. We're about to hit national traffic. We don't need to be blowing it up yet. Let it come back down a little bit. But it got hot. We didn't check the coolant in it. We thought it was good because it was running fine when we left, but guess it's a little warm. Smells like coolant. It's not pushing any out, but oh no. Oh, there it is. Got a half gallon. We'll pour a little bit of water on the radiator and cool her off. Pouring that water on the radiator brought it back down to 1/4 on the gauge. So Briar walked around this church here and we found a spigot outside. So what is this church called?
St. Luke's Presbyterian.
Thank you, St. Luke's Presbyterian, for allowing us to steal a gallon of water for our truck so it doesn't overheat. We greatly appreciate you.
hot water. Woohoo! I'm gonna spray some in the grill before we go. We'll pop the hood on the truck. It's ice cold now. Nashville. The temp is still under half, so I think I might have just been pushing it a little too hard with the interstate. The temperature is like, just the ambient temperatures out here, it's got to be much higher just because of the asphalt and everything. Like I said, it's really not that hot out here, but it's hot enough to where temperatures go high. So the speedometer reads 5 miles per hour slower, so 60 is truly 65. Probably leave it at that. We're just gonna probably stick around 65 miles an hour so we don't push it too hard. We're not that much further away from home. We're getting very close. Just a matter of interstate and then we're home. Easy peasy, right? Well, we just stopped and got gas here at the Loves. We went 96 miles and used 9.5 gallons. So we're pretty much getting 10 miles per gallon. I'm gonna cool her off while we're here and I'm gonna fill this jug back up. They're nice and cold. It wasn't very hot, but you don't want to push our luck while we still have the chance. Last leg of the trip. We got about an hour left to go. She's running nice and cool and very squeaky for some reason. Oh, fuel is full. Temp gauge is very low. That's the way we like to see it. Almost there, folks. Made it back to see Dixie and I guess Andy. I'll accept her too. We are home. We got to pick up the dogs though. Oh, there she is. Come to greet me. What a sweet little girl. Oh. Hello, puppy. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hey. Oh, there's the other one. There's the other one. Just forgot who I am. You gotta come with me. It's time to go home. Hello, 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 hello. Well, I got Indy riding up front with me. And Dixie, well, she's a little bit bigger. She don't ride very often in vehicles, so I want to make sure she don't jump out. But she's a little too big for the cab. She likes the truck though. It seems like she could ride in the back. If I ever had a vehicle she wanted to ride in, she'd do it. She enjoys it. Indiana, what are you doing? What are you doing, pup? You like riding in the truck? So, today, it's Sunday. I'm on my way to church, and all the family goes to church there. I mean, that's how me and my wife met. That's how I got to be a part of them. And I'm bringing it back to show it to them today. And we're actually doing the interviews that you've seen throughout the video today. So I'm hoping that they can get excited about the truck and just be glad to see it back on the road, because like I said, it's been sitting for a while and it just hasn't been used because it wasn't able to be used. But now we're finally back to the point where it can be, and I would trust this thing to drive it wherever you needed it to. So I'm looking forward to see their reactions. I'm going to park it over at the church, see what they do.
I would like to see somebody in our family keep it, obviously. Somebody that'll take care of it and just keep it running and just drive it every once in a while when I just want to take a drive. Not really use it for anything, just leisurely.
Well, I'll be honest, when I saw it in your shop the other day, I was, you think back of a lot of things that you did in the truck and the experiences, but and even this morning when I left church, it was sitting there by Briar's truck. They looked good sitting there side by side. When you mentioned first memories, I remember being a kid and climbing around and hanging on to the gun rack in the back. And of course, I ain't no way I'm doing that right now. But
It seemed like it had so much room in it.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah,
Seemed
it
like
did.
there was just so much room, but there's not.
yeah,
There's really not, but we rode 5 deep in that
Yeah.
truck. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
but we would have Daddy and me and Jeremy would be in the middle, Mom and Jamie would be in Mama's lap or whatever, unless one of us was sitting in Daddy's lap driving.
yeah.
I'd love for it to stay just like it is, but I don't know. I don't know. I would like for it to be able to, I'd like for my dad, if my dad wanted to take it for a spin, I'd like to see him do that.
Yeah.
You just like looking at it, don't you?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful truck.
I'd like to see you drive it again.
Well, yeah, I did drive it
Yeah, she drove it when you left here.
when you left here.
She drove it around the block.
The block.
Oh, you snuck a little drive in there.
Yes,
She did.
Well, good, good.
it drove good.
Oh, yeah.
It really did.
Thank you for fixing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing.
It was.
Your favorite thing about it was what again?
Mine.
And there you have it, folks. The truck runs, drives, and stops for the very first time in quite a long time. Now, as you can see, this family just holds this truck in such a high regard that they really enjoyed seeing this truck back on the road, and it meant a lot to me that they even let me have the opportunity to work on it, and of course take it all the way to Bowling Green and back. So that was awesome of them to even allow such a thing. Now, the thing about this truck is that we did fix a few things. The fuel gauge was actually reading empty when it was at a half tank. So every time we tried to fill it up, it wasn't truly empty, and that's why the filler neck couldn't hold any more. We got that kink sorted out, and the brake issue, it just turns out that the master cylinder was that low to the point where the brake light would turn on. When I filled it back up, brakes work perfectly fine, the light goes off, and we're back to normal. No leaks whatsoever. So it's awesome. This truck is great. A little bit more tinkering and this thing can be top notch, but I'm just glad to see this thing being able to be used by the family again and hopefully be preserved for generations to come. So if you guys want to support the channel, go down to the link in the description below. T-shirts and stickers are the best way to do it. All the money that goes into that goes directly back into making vehicles like this go back on the road. So thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.